Have you ever wondered how a single event could alter the course of history forever? From forgotten empires to groundbreaking inventions, the world we live in today is shaped by moments of extraordinary significance. But what if I told you that some of these events hold stories stranger than fiction? Buckle up, because today we'll uncover 5 extraordinary events that didn't just change the past. They reshaped the world as we know it. Before we dive into these fascinating stories, make sure to hit the subscribe button and join us for more incredible journeys through history. Your support helps us bring more hidden stories to light. So let's get started. In the heart of what is now modern-day Turkey, at the crossroads of East and West, stood Constantinople. For over 1,000 years, this majestic city had witnessed the rise and fall of empires, repelling invaders time and time again. But in 1453, a new force emerged on the world stage, the Ottoman Empire, led by Sultan Mehmed II, just 21 years old, but with ambition burning brighter than any sun. Mehmed's objective was clear: to capture Constantinople, the crown jewel of the Byzantine Empire. For months, the Ottomans laid siege, their cannons pounding relentlessly at the city's ancient walls. The defenders fought bravely, but the might of the Ottoman army, coupled with innovative tactics and sheer determination, proved too strong to resist. Our first event takes us back to 1453, when the mighty city of Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Empire. This wasn't just the end of a city, it was the end of the Byzantine Empire and a turning point in world history. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across the world. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, an empire that had stood for over a millennium, a direct descendant of the Roman Empire itself. The loss of this bastion of Christianity to the Islamic Ottomans had profound religious and geopolitical consequences. The fall of Constantinople wasn't just a military defeat. It was a seismic shift in world power. Trade routes that had flowed through Constantinople were disrupted, forcing European powers to seek new maritime routes to the east. This, in turn, fueled the age of exploration, leading to the discovery of new lands, the rise of global trade, and the eventual shift of power from east to west. Imagine how different the world might look if this city had stood its ground. Imagine a world shrouded in silence, where knowledge is a precious commodity, carefully guarded and passed down through generations by hand. This was the world before Johannes Gutenberg, a German goldsmith with a vision that would change the course of history. In a quiet workshop in Mainz, Germany, Gutenberg toiled tirelessly, experimenting with movable type and ink, his goal to create a machine that could replicate text on a mass scale. Next, we moved to a quiet workshop in Germany, where Johannes Gutenberg created a machine that would give knowledge wings, the printing press. And then it happened. The printing press was born. Gutenberg's invention was revolutionary. For the first time in human history, books could be produced quickly and cheaply, making knowledge accessible to a far wider audience. Before Gutenberg, books were painstakingly copied by hand, often by monks in monasteries. This process was slow, laborious, and prone to errors. As a result, books were rare, expensive, and largely the preserve of the wealthy and powerful. The printing press shattered these barriers. With the printing press, ideas could now spread like wildfire. The Renaissance, a period of immense artistic, scientific, and cultural flourishing, was fueled in no small part by the printing press. It allowed scholars to share their discoveries, artists to spread their ideas, and writers to reach a wider audience than ever before. The printing press democratized knowledge, paving the way for the Reformation, the scientific revolution, and the Enlightenment. It gave a voice to the voiceless and empowered people to challenge the status quo. In many ways, the printing press gave humanity its voice. Chapter 3. The Black Death, 1347-1351. The year 1347. A shadow falls across Europe, a darkness unlike any other. From the bustling ports of Italy, a silent killer creeps ashore, carried on the backs of unsuspecting rats. This is no ordinary foe, no invading army or warring king. This is the Black Death, a plague like no other, a relentless force that will reshape the very fabric of society. Imagine, if you will, the terror that gripped the hearts of men and women as the plague tightened its grip. Entire villages wiped out, cities reeking of death, the cries of the afflicted echoing through empty streets. The Black Death spared no one, rich or poor, young or old. All fell victim to its indiscriminate touch. It was one of the deadliest pandemics in human history. The Black Death swept across Europe, wiping out nearly 60% of the population in just 4 years. But from the ashes of this devastation, a new world began to emerge. The Black Death, as horrific as it was, had a profound and lasting impact on Europe. With so many dead, labour became scarce, giving peasants and labourers more power than they had ever known. The old feudal system, already weakening, began to crumble. Out of the darkness came a new dawn of intellectual and artistic expression. The horrors of the plague forced people to confront their own mortality, leading to a renewed interest in spirituality, art, and the human condition. The Black Death, a tragedy of unimaginable proportions, ultimately sowed the seeds for a new era, an era of change, innovation, and a reimagining of what it meant to be human. Chapter 4, The Moon Landing, 1969. For millennia, humanity gazed up at the moon, a celestial beacon in the night sky, a source of wonder, mystery, and inspiration. It was a destination beyond our grasp, a symbol of the unattainable. But all that changed in the 20th century as the dream of spaceflight evolved from science fiction to a tangible reality. The space race, a fierce competition between the United States and the Soviet Union, captured the imagination of the world. It was a battle for technological supremacy, a demonstration of each nation's prowess and ambition. And on July 20th, 1969, the world watched with bated breath as Apollo 11, carrying 3 American astronauts, touched down on the lunar surface. Fast forward to 1969, when humanity took its first steps on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Neil Armstrong's words echoed a new era of exploration. The grainy images of Neil Armstrong taking those first tentative steps on the moon, broadcast live to a global audience, transcended political and geographical boundaries. It was a moment of shared human triumph, a testament to our collective ingenuity and spirit of exploration. The moon landing wasn't just about planting a flag on a distant celestial body. It was a pivotal moment in human history, a testament to our ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. It inspired generations to dream bigger, to push the boundaries of what's possible. The moon landing wasn't just about beating the Soviets in the space race. It inspired generations to dream bigger and proved that humanity could achieve the impossible. Chapter 5. The Fall of the Berlin Wall, 1989. For nearly 3 decades, a concrete barrier sliced through the heart of Berlin, a stark symbol of a world divided. The Berlin Wall, erected in 1961, stood as a physical manifestation of the Cold War, separating East from West, communist from capitalist, hope from despair. But the human spirit, like a vine seeking sunlight, will always find a way to grow towards freedom. Throughout the 1980s, cracks began to appear in the wall, both literally and figuratively. Protests erupted across Eastern Europe, demanding freedom and democracy. The Soviet Union, weakened by economic stagnation and internal strife, began to loosen its grip on its satellite states. And finally, we arrive in 1989, when the Berlin Wall, once a symbol of division, was torn down. And then, on that fateful night of November 9th, 1989, the unthinkable happened. The Berlin Wall, once an impenetrable barrier, became a stage for joyous reunification. East Germans, armed with hammers and chisels, joined by West Berliners on the other side, began to chip away at the wall, brick by brick, their actions echoing the fall of empires and the rise of hope. The fall of the Berlin Wall was more than just the dismantling of a physical barrier. It was a symbolic victory for freedom over oppression, for unity over division. It marked the end of the Cold War, a conflict that had cast a long shadow over the world for over 40 years. Its fall marked the end of the Cold War, reunified Germany, and brought hope for a future free from the chains of ideological conflict. It was a moment that reminded the world of the power of unity. History is a story of change, sometimes tragic, sometimes triumphant. These 5 events are just a glimpse of the moments that shaped our world, and there's so much more to uncover. From the fall of empires to the rise of new technologies, from pandemics to moments of global unity, the past is a tapestry woven with threads of both darkness and light. If you found this journey through time fascinating, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Together, we'll continue exploring the past to better understand the present. Until next time, stay curious.